gentlemen, welcome to the Moto Mengy channel. Today I'm trying very hard not to break my bike, not to destroy my Goldwing. Now, you might wonder, why am I worried about destroying my Goldwing? Well, that's the topic of today's video, because as it turns out, this new model Goldwing, the new design, may have a pretty large design flaw. Now I say design flaw, I should say a weakness. Maybe the Goldwing's Achilles heel, so to speak. And what makes me talk about this is another motovlogger by the name of Deluxe Chimp. I've watched him for a long time now. He recently bought a brand new 2022 Goldwing Standard. A really good looking one. It's like a either dark gray or a flat black. I'm not sure, with like red trim on the engines, guards, and that kind of stuff. It's a good looking bike. He bought it a few months ago. Maybe 4 months ago, 5 months ago maybe. And he rode his Goldwing for about a month, about 600, 700 miles, give or take, something like that. And after a little over 600 miles, he hit something while riding on the bike. He hit a speed bump. You know, we all go over speed bumps. According to him, he wasn't going very fast either. Yeah, he wasn't like flying or super speeding. He just went over a speed bump like normal people do. But when he went over the speed bump, his Goldwing bottomed out on the speed bump. Like the bottom of the bike and the frame smacked the top of the speed bump. And as it turns out, did some pretty major damage to his Goldwing. It cracked the engine case. And as it turns out, that's not an easy fix for a new Goldwing. Because his bike has now been in the shop, the Honda shop, for over 3 months, waiting on parts to fix the bike up. So his new Goldwing with less than 700 miles on it has been sitting in the shop for 3 months, waiting for a very large repair bill. According to the Honda dealer, the repair will probably cost somewhere in the $12,000 range. And when they get the parts, doing the work will take about 32 hours, probably a little more than that, but somewhere around 32 hours. So yeah, not an easy fix, not a cheap fix, a very expensive mistake. But as it turns out, he's not the only one that this has happened to. Upon some further research by Deluxe Chimp and myself, actually, I looked into it too a little bit. There have been a few. Wait your turn. Good job, dearie. Way to pay attention. Anyway, yeah, as it turns out, there have been quite a few new model Goldwings that have had serious, substantial damage done by the bottom of the bike hitting stuff or bottoming out on things. I read one account where one guy hit a piece of wood across the road, like a 2x4 or a 1x4 or something like that, and it destroyed his shifter linkage. He was riding a 6-speed manual Goldwing. The board hit the bottom of his bike when he ran over it, and it destroyed the entire shifter linkage and cracked something like on the engine block itself too. Had to get replaced. They had to replace the shifter linkage, part of the engine block, to the mechanism that comes out of the engine for the shifter linkage, but it cracked the case, so the case had to be replaced. Another account, a guy hit a pothole in his new Goldwing, and again, the bottom of the bike bombed out in the road and it smacked the road, and he had substantial engine damage done to his bike as well. It had to have the case cracked open and cases placed and that kind of stuff. Similar to Deluxe Chimp. Only Deluxe Chimp didn't hit a pothole, he hit a speed bump. So you might wonder, is the bottom of the Goldwing just super fragile that hitting things on the bottom of the bike can cause such destruction to it? Because I've had all my Harleys, the Harley frame design, and most bikes frame design, they have tube frames, tube rails underneath the engine. The engine rests inside the frame. So if you hit something like that, like a pothole or a speed bump on a Harley Davidson, the frame will contact the road surface or a speed bump or whatever, not the engine itself. And the frame takes the brunt of the impact, so that's good. That means you don't destroy your engine case. But the new model Goldwing here has a It's called a stress member design, where the frame is part of where the engine block is part of the frame. So there is no frame rails beneath the engine block of this Goldwing here. The bottom of the engine is exposed to the road surface and stuff beneath the bike. And if you watch my videos where I change the oil in this Goldwing, I show pictures of the bottom of the bike, and you can see that the engine case is the bottom of the bike. It's exposed. So yeah, that's not good. I'm gonna wait, because they're going pretty fast. Merge. So yeah, that's not good. Obviously there's a design problem with the Goldwing, where the bottom of the bike is very vulnerable, very susceptible to damage. And not just damage, but major damage. When you ride a motorcycle long enough, you're going to run over stuff on the road. It's just a matter of time. It's you know, it's going to happen. You can't be super observant all the time. Sometimes when following cars, you don't get much warning if something's on the road. You know, the car runs over it because the cars don't care. But I've hit 2x4s across the road and road debris and stuff over the course of my riding career. If you ride long enough, everyone does. You know, it's a matter of time. You try not to, but it happens. So the fact that, you know what, we're gonna dodge that little back up there. Let's go through town a bit, get behind the trash truck. So the fact that the Goldwing is so vulnerable to bottom impacts is a little disturbing. It's not a good thing. This is the third trash truck I've gotten behind today. I don't know what it is today. I'm having bad luck with trash trucks. Let me go around them. Lost my train of thought due to the trash truck. So needless to say, Deluxe Chimp is pretty upset. Now, I'll put a link to his motovlog here in the corner up here, and down in the description too, so in case you want to watch his account of it, you can watch it. And he's been waiting 3 months now, so hopefully he gets his bike back sometime soon. But he missed the majority of riding season due to this issue, so that kind of blows for him. Now, Deluxe Chimp's been talking to his Honda shop over the course of these 3 months, trying to get answers and so on and so forth. Now, he understands, you know, it's not the Honda dealer's fault. They weren't the ones, it's not their, you know, they didn't cause it, they didn't cause a problem. But I guess apparently getting the parts is a bit of a hassle. They're having a hard time getting the parts to fix it up. And they also warned them that once they break the whole thing open and get the engine apart, see the inside of it, there could be more damage to the inside of that engine than what they know or what they realized in the first place. So Deluxe Chimp might have a bigger problem than he even thinks he does. It might take even longer to get that bike back. I mean, it's already been 3 months. That really blows. But the fact that it's going to cost $12,000 or over $12,000 probably by the time it's done, that's just terrible. So it does make me, you know, a little more cautious about riding this Goldwing. Like, I would, you don't want to take this modern Goldwing off-road. You don't want to take the new version of the Goldwing on, you know, bumpy, rocky trails or off-road trails or anything, because the bottom of this bike smacks anything hard, like a rock or something, you're gonna wreck it. It's gonna destroy it. So to the other motovloggers out there riding new Goldwings like Achilles 7, Moose, Pete's 1800, Americhic, all you other motovloggers riding modern Goldwings, be a little wary of the bottom of your bike. Try not to run things over. Definitely be careful over speed bumps, because wow, the speed bump can wreck a whole engine on this Goldwing. That's terrible. It's very disturbing, to be honest. Now, Deluxe Chimp has raised a few concerns about whether or not he wants to keep the bike, because you know, it's not even broken in yet. I mean, 700 miles, less than 700 miles, and he's having his engine rebuilt and the cases replaced. It's not a very good position to be in. And of course, he's a little wary about getting the bike back and how will perform and that kind of thing. And I can't say I blame him. I mean, you buy a motorcycle, you want to be able to have faith in it. You want to be able to trust it and rely on it, especially if you're going to be riding long distances like the Goldwing was designed for. But if you're worried about your bike breaking down due to a chance, you know, being across the road or whatever, yeah, that's gonna wear you down a little bit. It's gonna weigh on your soul a little bit. It's gonna weigh on your mind. So am I worried about my Goldwing here? Well, it's definitely something to be aware of and concerned about. But I'm not gonna be trading my bike in for anything else or that kind of thing. I love this Goldwing. I've had it 4 years now. I haven't had any problems with it. I'm not looking to get rid of it just because of a possible design flaw, but I will be aware of, like, if I see a 2x4 in the road or whatever, I'm going to definitely do my best to avoid that big time. Or if I see something like, or even like a speed bump, like curve around speed bumps. The last thing I want to do is hit the bottom of this engine on something and crack the case open like Deluxe Chimp did, like what happened to him. So would you call that a design flaw or just a design characteristic? I'd probably call it a design flaw. I know there are skid plates available for this Goldwing you can buy for the bottom of it, and I may actually consider looking into getting a skid plate for it, just for the peace of mind and protection. I mean, if the bottom of the bike is that fragile. All right, let me pull over here and show you the bottom of the engine so we can get a gander at how it looks. All right. I'm gonna use my phone to film the bottom of the bike. All right, so let's look at the bottom of the Goldwing here to look at what we're looking at. Here's the engine. You can clearly see that the case is the bottom of the bike. There's no frame rails here hiding it or protecting it. Now the skid plate covers all this. Nah, get my hand out there. Now the skid plate covers all this, so it keeps the bottom protected from impacts. Yeah, it might be a good purchase to get. And even not just the case, but the filters are under here too. The filters are exposed at the bottom. So if someone comes up and whacks it, you can get a leak in your oil filter or puncture the oil filter and drain the engine oil all over the road. And the back tire, which would really blow because back tire's right here. But if you lose all the engine oil while riding, the engine will self-destruct as well. Yeah, not good. Get my gloves back on. So there's no two ways about it. It's disturbing. All right, that's 222. I'm not going there. I'm going to go back down towards Fleetwood. So there's no two ways about it. It's pretty disturbing news, pretty disturbing revelation. But on the other hand, it is good to know. I mean, I'd rather know about a weakness in my bike, a design flaw, than not know about it. At least knowing about it now, I can prepare for it or be aware of hazards that may potentially destroy the bike. Self-destruct the Goldwing. Now, I'm sure there are other motorcycles on the market that have the same vulnerability, probably. I mean, using the engine block as stress members of the frame isn't a new concept. Lots of other bikes do it. I don't know any offhand, but lots do. Actually, the new Harley Pan America does, I'm sure, but the Pan America is an adventure bike and it has skid plates on the bottom of the engine, so it's protected. I think a lot of adventure bikes use the engine as a stress member in the frame. But for road bike, like the Goldwing here, yeah, it's something to be concerned about. Hopefully Deluxe Chimp gets his Goldwing fixed soon and he gets it back. He can ride it for a change and put some miles on it, because owning a bike for 4 or 5 months and only having 700 miles on it, that sucks. That's terrible. Unfortunately, he'll be getting it back around the time riding season's over, so I'm not sure where Deluxe Chimp lives offhand. Luckily, he has a second motorcycle, so he's not stuck without 2 wheels. But his second motorcycle isn't a Goldwing. It's not even a touring bike. It's more of like a Triumph type bike, I think. Like a I don't know, you know, like a classic bike that's like a Triumph looking bike, or I'm sorry, Deluxe Chimp, I don't know what your other motorcycle is. I know what it looks like. I've seen it, but I don't know what brand it is or what kind of bike it is. It's a more typical motorcycle than a Goldwing or a full touring bike. But I'm going to end the video here because that's all I want to talk about. The new Goldwing has a design flaw, has a vulnerability, an Achilles heel, and it's not good news. It kind of sucks. It kind of blows, but it's good to know. And knowing is half the battle. Yo, Joe.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
So I'm gonna end the video here. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you have a Goldwing, a new Goldwing, be very careful with it. Be aware of your engine vulnerability on the bottom of the bike. If you have any questions or comments you want to say down below in the comment section of this video, and hit the like button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Ride safe. Take care. And see you next time. I'm gonna wait. They're going pretty fast.